Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nowadays in our lectures we are discussing about primary data and various methods and ways of collecting primary data. In our previous lecture we have talked about semi-structured, structured and unstructured and in-depth questionnaires and interviews. And in today's lecture we are starting our lecture, how do we collect primary data using questionnaires? What is the role of questionnaire in collecting primary data? What are the various ways of formulating, layouting questionnaire? What kind of questions we can ask and all that. So we'll try to see one by one. Before that, I'll just recap the previous lecture that we learned that we have standardized and non-standardized way of interviewing, and that also gives us qualitative and quantitative data. So use of non-standard interviews should generate rich and detailed data. We have also discussed that non-standard interviews generate rich quality of data, because in standard structured interviews we have fixed and focused questions. But in non-standard semi-structured questionnaires we have a liberty of freedom for interviewee to speak whatever he or she can or he or she want to speak. Different types of interview are useful for different research purposes. We have also seen that we can have descriptive study, we can have explanatory or exploratory study, and for these things we can either go for, let's say, a structured interview or semi-structured interview or unstructured or in-depth interview. And we have seen through a table that their level of frequentness in collecting data differs. So structured interview might be good for descriptive study, semi-structured might be good for exploratory study, and in-depth or unstructured interview is good for explanatory study. So these are the differences that we have seen. Qualitative interviews are generally categorized in depth structured or semi-structured. So we have seen that semi-structured, structured interviews are categorized into qualitative. Research design may incorporate more than one type of interview. So we will also learn that instead of only one type of interview, that is only structured, semi-structured or in-depth, we can also mix and match between these three. So we can either have structured and semi-structured, we can either have structured and unstructured, or we can have semi-structured and unstructured. Using qualitative interviews is related to the research strategy and data collection question. What is our research strategy and what kind of data we want to collect to answer our research question? So this is one of the important things. We have to understand what is our research question, how do we try to answer it, and what kind of research strategy or design we have. And I have also told you that research strategy we have studied in our previous lecture can be experimental, can be survey, a case study, multiple case studies, single case study, or anthropological study. So that research design and our research questions and objective guide us what kind of qualitative interview we are going to conduct and how it helps us in increasing our understanding to a particular topic and getting data that we need to answer our research question. Establishing personal contact with subjects and the length of time required are significant factors. So we have also discussed that your relationship with interviewee and the time that you will spend on collecting data or in conducting interview will definitely have a significant impact. Data quality issues, interviewer competence and resource management are important consideration. So how competent you are when you are conducting an interview, either face-to-face, on telephone, through email, via online. So whenever you are using one or the other method of collecting data using interview, how competent you are. And we have seen different qualities or issues associated with competence in interviewing. Face-to-face, individual, group, focus group, and electronic interviews can all be advantages. So they have their own advantages. When you do face-to-face, where do you do electronic, where do you do emailing, where do you do telephonic. So these are all advantageous in one or the other way. Before going into detail, today we are talking about use of questionnaire in collecting primary data. How questionnaire can help us collecting primary or first-hand information. And we know that primary data is basically first-hand information. You go and ask somebody about some particular information, and that is your first-hand information, and in sciences we called it primary data. That we have discussed during our secondary data use and comparison with primary data in one of our previous lecture. So questionnaire is basically a technique of data collection in which each person is asked to respond to the same set of questions in a predetermined order. So you have a questionnaire which is ordered, predetermined, and in sequences so that the questions are linked with each other, and you ask your respondents or subject to answer the same questions which are ordered, and you get the information or data. So for example, you ask name of the respondent, age of the respondent, gender, educational level, income level, consumption, job, satisfaction with job level, where he or she lives, and these kind of certain questions that you ask in questionnaire. So questionnaire is basically a technique of data collection, and in which we as a researcher try to ask each person to respond to the same questions that are ordered predeterminedly. So when to use questionnaire? Where do we need to use questionnaire? Do we need to use questionnaire everywhere? Do we need to be specific when we use questionnaire? Or where to use questionnaire? For explanatory or descriptive research. This is one thing. When you have an aim or objective of writing a descriptive or explanatory study or research, it is better to use questionnaire so that you can get maximum information from your interviewee or subject, and then you can interpret and analyze that information. Linked with other methods in a multiple methods research design. We have also seen that we have multiple method research design in which we use 1, 2 or 3 various methods of research design. And in multiple method research design, it is better to use questionnaire so that we can get maximum information of our respondents. To collect responses from a large sample prior to quantitative analysis. If we want to collect large sample of, let's say, 500 to 700 people, 300 people, 250, 1000, whatever is the size. So it's not possible for a researcher to remember every person's particular information that he or she has provided during interview. So that is how you use questionnaire. Interview is for small sample size. Let's say if you want to interview 5 or 6 people, you might use interviewing. But if you want to have large sample size, then definitely questionnaire is an interesting thing to do. And that's the advantage of questionnaire, that whatever you ask as a question to your subject or respondent, what you get information in the form of filled questionnaire, you'll definitely reserve it, save it, and you can use it at any time in the future for your ready reference. So this is one of the important things. So to collect responses from a large sample prior to quantitative analysis. So number 1, what kind of a study you are doing. That also helps to determine whether to use questionnaire or not. Then what kind of methodology you are using also determines whether you need questionnaire or not. And third, if your sample size is large or large enough not to be forgotten, so you use questionnaire or you take help from questionnaire to gather information to collect data. What are the types of questionnaire that we have with us, where they are used, how they are used, and what are their advantages and disadvantages. So these are given in tabular form. We have seen that we have discussed various forms of interviews, various forms of and their advantages and disadvantages. So we will definitely be talking about questionnaire. What kind of questionnaires we can have? First is self-administered. Second is interviewer administered. Self-administered is simply when you give questionnaire to somebody and he has to read and fill it up and give it back to you. Interviewer administered is a questionnaire where your research team goes to the field or to the person or the subject you want to get information from. So you ask question, the respondent replies, and you fill up the questionnaire. So it is interviewer administered. Within self-administration or self-administered questionnaire, we have internet, we have intranet mediated questionnaire, we have postal questionnaire, delivery and collection questionnaire. So you deliver by post and then you get and all that. So interviewer administer, you can have telephonic and you can have structured interview. So we have also seen that structured interview can also come under a questionnaire where you have a broader theme, your research questions and objectives, and based on that you have designed some questions in predetermined sequence and order so that you can ask these questions, you get answer to them, and you try to relate this with your research questions so that you can get better understanding for your research topic. So type of questionnaire is basically differs according to how it is administered and in particular the amount of contact you have with respondents. If you have a questionnaire which is self-administered versus a telephonic questionnaire versus a questionnaire which is interviewer administered, had three different ways of determining the order and the sequence of question. So the design of questionnaire therefore differs in all these three cases. Self-administered questionnaires are usually completed by respondents. We have also seen that self-administered means that a person who is filling the form or the questionnaire administered the questionnaire himself or herself. Such questionnaires are administered electronically using the internet mediated questionnaires. So internet mediated questionnaires are administered electronically. So these electronic evaluation forms are also comes under this category, that you have a questionnaire where you just say yes, no, and somehow you also give some of your responses to it. And that's how you administered these things electronically. They're also self-administered, but they are in electronic form, so they are called internet mediated or electronic mediated questionnaires, or intranet mediated questionnaires, posted to respondents who return them by post after completion. So these are postal or mail questionnaire. You locate your respondents' postal addresses, and because of lack of financial resources or one or the other reason, you are unable to go there. So what you do, you basically put your question in an envelope, post it, write the address, mailing address, and you post it to your respondent. And based on that, the respondent administered that questionnaire again by him or herself and then posted back to you. So this is how the postal or mail questionnaire be filled out. Deliver by hand to each respondent and collected later. Delivery and collection questionnaire. So you go, you give it to your respondent, ask him to fulfill this questionnaire and give it back to you. So you give it to various people. Let's say within a department you want to conduct a study on people's behavior about this or that thing. So you basically go to each person you want to interview, you give the questionnaire to them, and you come back, and after you give them some time that after this or that particular time you'll come back and collect the questionnaire, and this is how you get the whole questionnaire back by yourself. So it is delivered by hand to each respondent or collected later. So it's called delivery and collection questionnaire. So we have self-administered, we have internet mediated, We have postal or mail questionnaire, or we have delivery and collection questionnaire. And we have also understand and learned that the design of questionnaire differs depending on the amount of contact a researcher will have with the respondent. So if it is face to face, definitely the design is different versus if it is telephonic versus if it is mailed to a respondent, because where your presence as a researcher is not ensured or not necessary, then definitely the questionnaire should be as detailed as possible, that the person who is administrating himself or herself will be in a position to understand what is written, how to answer and all that. So the understanding of the questionnaire must be there when researcher is not present. The response rate, validity and reliability. So response rates, validity and reliability can be maximized by number 1, careful design of individual questions, clear and pleasing layout of the questionnaire, logical explanation of the purpose of the questionnaire, pilot testing, and carefully planned and executed administration. So we have response rate, validity and reliability. Somewhere during our sampling and sampling design, we have studied that response rate is very important thing. So how much response do you get when you want to collect data, which is very important to understand, and especially when you do questionnaire survey or you want to collect primary data using questionnaires, your response rate is one of the important thing. So how much of your respondents actually replied back to you when you ask them to fill a questionnaire. So response rate, validity and reliability of a questionnaire of a research project can be maximized by careful design of questions, clear and pleasing layout, logical explanation of the purpose, pilot testing, and careful planning and administering the questionnaire. So what is it that you have to design your questionnaire carefully? If you are not in a position to design your questionnaire carefully, then it will definitely lose the interest of subject or respondent. So careful design means that you have to see what questions you have to ask in the beginning, how you sequence them till the end, where and how you end the questionnaire, and what is the link between starting of the questionnaire versus end of the questionnaire. Secondly, you also see the questions that you are asking in sequences, are they logically ordered also? If it is not, then try to give them sequence of logical sequence as much as possible. Thirdly, you will also try to see how your questions are linked to the topic of your research which you want to explore. How these questions are linked to the research questions that you have in your mind or you have for your research. And finally, how they are linked to your research objectives. Keeping these things in mind and the theme of your research, you design questions, and based on your questions, you design your questionnaire in a way that is easily understandable, that is logically sequenced, and that is in a sequential order. So careful design of individual question is also important. Individual question must be understandable to the person who is going to fill the questionnaire. If he or she is unable to understand the question, the answer will not be appropriate because the person didn't get the question right. So you have to design the question in a way that if individual is self-administering the question, he or she might be able to understand, number 1, the question, number 2, the meanings of what you want to ask, and then he or she will be in a position to answer it appropriately. Careful design is one of the important things when you are designing individual questions and also questionnaire. Clear and pleasing layout of the question. Definitely, if you have a good presentation of your questionnaire, By laying out it nicely, which is pleasing and clear, then definitely it will enhance or helps in increasing the response rate. Definitely when response rate increase, the question that you ask individually, if they are clear, they'll also increase reliability and validity of the information that you get as data. Logical explanation of the purpose of questionnaire. You have to provide your logical explanation of the purpose of questionnaire. Why you have designed questionnaire, what is your purpose, and why you are asking these specific questions. So you have to make clear to your respondent the objectives and research questions of your research study in a purposeful and logical manner, so that the questionnaire become clear to the respondent. That helps to increase reliability, validity, and response rate. Pilot testing is also important. What you do in pilot testing, instead of going directly into field or collecting data, what you do is pilot testing. And pilot testing is that where you choose few respondents, you go with the questionnaire that you have designed and you ask questions. And then you will get feedback that whether there is something missing from your questionnaire, something redundant in your questionnaire, something unimportant but you have included, something unclear to you, also to your respondent. These feedbacks you get during pilot testing for your questionnaire. And that pilot testing actually gives you an idea that what kind of responses you will get with the questions that you have designed. Will your aim of research study be fulfilled or not? So pilot study in that sense is very important. So we have to administer and plan the questionnaire carefully. If we don't do that, definitely we will be unable to get a valid and reliable data, and that's also hinder a response rate of the respondents or subject for the questionnaire that we want them to fill. So these are the factors that determine or at least maximize response rate, validity, and reliability. Design and careful design of individual question, clear and pleasing layout of the question or questionnaire, logical explanation of the purpose, pilot testing, which is very important, and careful planning and executing, administering nicely the questionnaire. So responses that are given by respondents in interviewers administered questionnaire are recorded. Now we are talking about questionnaires in which an interviewer go to respondent or subject, ask question, and whatever answer is given, he or she is recording that. So responses to interviewer administered questionnaires are recorded by the interviewer on the basis of each respondent's answers. Questionnaire administered using the telephone are known as telephone questionnaires. The final category is structured interviews, sometimes known as interview schedules, refer to those questionnaires where interviewers physically met respondents and asked the question face to face, which is very simple thing that you go, you ask question and you get reply to that. These differ from semi-structured and unstructured in-depth interviews, as there is defined schedule of questions from which interviewers should not deviate. So a structured interview or interview schedules are those in which you have a structured format and questions from where the respondents or subject cannot be or not in a position to deviate, which is different from semi-structured or unstructured interviews. Choice of questionnaire depends on these following factors. What are the characteristics of respondents and how you access them? Respondents' answer not being contaminated or distorted. Size of sample required for your analysis. Type and number of questions required. Available resources including use of computer software. What if you ask open-ended question, you want to analyze coding and decoding the data, but you don't have computer software? So you have to understand your needs, your study design, your research objectives, and then you have to design questionnaire. The choice of questionnaire depends on characteristics of respondents and access. What kind of respondents you have, whether they are literate, whether they are illiterate, whether they are managers with less time available to them, or they are unskilled workers where the time is not a problem, but when you go and ask them is another issue for them. Secondly, access to them, where you can find them, how do you find them, how to access to them so that they can respond to. So the length of the questionnaire, length of each question, response to that particular question, open-ended, closed-ended, unstructured, structured, what kind of answer you are expecting, definitely decide what kind of questionnaire you are going to use. Respondents' answer not being contaminated or distorted. So you have to choose a questionnaire where you can be in a minimum position of contaminating or distorting the respondent's answer. Definitely your sample size for the analysis of the data or information is very important determinant of what kind of questionnaire you are going to use. If it is unstructured, then might be your sample size will be small, but you get more information out of it. In a structured interview, we use for large sample surveys, where you have large sample, more respondents because of your interview or because of your questionnaire, which is structured. The questions are logically sequenced, sometimes just yes/no answers and all these things, so you can administer them nicely. So size of sample is very important. Once you are decided about your research questions and objectives, definitely you will go and decide about research strategy and design. And once you decide about research strategy and design, you'll definitely come up with the questionnaire and the choice of questionnaire. And that basically be linked to what is your sample size. And definitely you have in your mind that what kind of analysis you want to do, that determines what kind of sample size will help you to do this kind of or that particular kind of analysis. And types and number of questions required. That is also important. What kind of questions you want to ask, open-ended, closed-ended, what kind of questions you are interested in and asking to your respondent, and how many questions you want to ask to get the maximum information out of your subject or respondent. Type and number of questions are also important factor in choosing a questionnaire or type of questionnaire. What are available resources? For example, whether you have that much time or not, if your questionnaire is too long. If your questions are too short, will you be in a position to get all the required information? If your questions are too many, can they disturb the respondents? If you get all the data, do you have required software of computing? So you have to answer all these questions predeterminedly so that you can decide about the choice of what kind of questionnaire you are going to use. Data collection. These are some of the key factors that involved in data collection using questionnaire. If you are collecting information or data by using questionnaire, what are the key factors? Number one, precisely defined question, representative and accurate sampling, understanding of the organizational context, relationship between variables, dependent, independent, types of variable. All these things we have actually discussed in length in our previous lecture. So today we are discussing the precisely defined questions because we are talking about questionnaire. But for example, the second one that we have in our mind is representative and accurate sampling. In our sampling lectures, we have discussed about how your sample can be representative and how it can become accurate. and we have seen that within sampling we have two kind of sampling that we can use, or sampling approaches or techniques we can use: probability versus non-probability. And within probability we have 5 different methods to collect data, or to get sample accurately, and that too representative. We have simple random, we have systematic random, we have cluster, we have stratified, and then we have multi-stage sampling. And you know through our previous lecture that what are these, how do they are helping us to determine representative sample, and what are their advantages and disadvantages. And in non-probability sampling we have also discussed that there are various ways and kinds of collecting non-probability data sample. And the probability and non-probability sample differs only in a way that sampling framework is needed for probability sampling, but it might not be necessary for non-probability sample. And we have under non-probability sampling this snowball technique, quota sampling, convenience sampling, heterogeneous, homogeneous, extreme case, typical case, and these kind of things that we have discussed at length in our previous lecture. So using one or the other method of sampling, or one or the other approach of sampling technique, we must ensure that the data that we are collecting or want to collect must be representative of the population, and it is an accurate sample. It is not a biased sample. An understanding of the original organizational context. What kind of organization we are trying to ask or do interview or questionnaires, or what kind of organization we are going for to get information. So understanding the organizational context is also important. And then of course we are talking about relationships between variables. That leads us to a lecture that we have previously about theoretical framework and hypothesis testing. What are the relationship of variables with other variable, which is dependent, which is independent, which is intervening and mediating. And we have discussed and try to learn what are these variables, which variable is dependent, which is independent, mediating, intervening. And definitely these lead us to types of variable. What kind of variables do we have? So key factors that involve in data collection using questionnaires are precisely defined questions, representative and accurate sampling, understanding the organizational context, variable types, and relationship between variables. Ensuring essential data are collected. So the data requirement table is that your research question and objective should be there, what type of research you are conducting, explanatory, exploratory, descriptive, and then what kind of questions you are asking. Investigative questions, what are the variables that are required, detail in which data is measured, how you measure the data, and check measurement question including in questionnaire, whether what you are measuring is included in questionnaire or not. So whatever you want to measure is included in questionnaire or not. So what kind of investigative question you are asking, what is your variable requirements, how you measure data, and whether it is included in your questionnaire or not. So these are the essential for collecting data, and that is the table that we have to fulfill beforehand so that we understand whatever question we are asking, do we have a variable for that particular question, and if we have variable, are we measuring in accurate or right form, and if we are measuring, check the measurement question included in the questionnaire. So designing the questionnaire. There are stages of designing the questionnaire. If a researcher if he or she is researching and want to have a valid and reliable questionnaire, then there are 4 stages on which he or she has to rely mostly to design the questionnaire. So stages that must occur if a question is to be valid and reliable are: number one, a researcher is clear about the data required and design of the question. So by looking into your research question of your study, definitely you will be in a position to decide what kind of data you need and how to design questions to get that data. So at first you have to understand the very basics of your research. What is your basic topic, theme of your research? What is your research questions and objectives? And based on that you determine why or how you want to answer this question. And how means whether you are using questionnaire or not. And if you are using questionnaire, what kind of data you need. And for collecting that particular data, what kind of question you must design so that you can get that appropriate data. So this is very first stage where you must be clear as a researcher about your topic, research questions and objectives. Based on that your data needs, and based on your data needs you must determine the design of the question. It can be full questionnaire and also individual question one by one. Then second stage is where you have to determine the respondent decodes the questions in the way the researcher intended. Decoding means understanding. If you are asking the question, respondent must understand the way you ask the question or the same understanding that you have for that particular question. So in second stage what we do is, after designing questionnaire, it must be clear, and clear not to researcher who is doing research, but also clear to respondent, so that respondents can decode what is being asked and he or she will be in a position to reply about the question. Third thing that is important in this context is respondent answers the question. If the respondent is able to understand the question, definitely will get answer to it. If they are unable or they are confused about the understanding of the question, and then you will be in a position to lose their interest, or you might not get the answer that you want to have for that particular question. And in any case, if you get respondent's answer to that question, the fourth stage that you can have for designing your questionnaire is that researcher, as a researcher, you will be in a position to decode the answer that was provided by the respondent. So once answer is given, researcher must be in a position to understand that response, or he or she in a position to actually decode what has been said by the respondent or subject. So these are four stages one is linked to another, is linked to the next, and linked to the next. First is the most important stage of designing questionnaire, where you have to understand the broader area of your research. Then you have to understand the specific question that you want to answer, and then you have a pretty good understanding of your research objectives. Why we have to focus on these things? Because if you don't have understanding of your research questions and objectives, then definitely you will not be in a position to decide what kind of questions you have to ask to get particular information. So once you have this understanding, then you will be in a position to design the question that you want to ask. And if you have designed question, the second thing that is very important is that the question that you are asking must be understandable to the respondent or the subject, so that he or she can decode them or answer them in a way that they understand the question as you understand the question. So as a researcher, whatever understanding you have for that particular question, respondent must be in a position to get that understanding of the question, so that he or she can decode and reply to that. Once the respondent had answered the question, the important thing is that you as a researcher must be in a position to decode the answer provided by the subject or the respondent. So these are the 4 different stages, interlinked stages of designing a questionnaire. Assessing validity, whether your question design is valid or not, you have to determine internal validity. You have to determine whether contents fulfilling the criteria or not. Criteria related predictive, whether you can predict something from the questionnaire. And construct, how do you construct questions, how do you construct the layout of the questionnaire, and how do you construct individual questions so that respondent can understand it. So these are some of the important aspects for assessing the validity of your research question. Testing for reliability. So once we have understand the validity, we have to understand the reliability also, and that is a 3-stage process. Test, retest, we have to test and retest, that is piloting, internal consistency, and alternative form. So are they consistent? Are the questions you are asking consistent or not? Test and retest, you have to see whether it make also the same understanding for your respondent or not, and what kind of alternative form of particular question you can use so that it make more sense and easy understanding for that particular respondent. So there are some of the examples of the questions or the type of questions that one can ask in questionnaire. We have some examples. So first is open questions. So when you ask open questions, please list up 2-3 things you like about the jobs you are doing. So these are open questions. For example, you are asking your respondent that you are doing this job, what 3 things you like about doing this job. So he or she has to answer first. So he or she has to answer first, then second, and then third. So first thing I like about this job is that it is my favorite job. It is well rewarding. It is my dream job. I'm just giving you an example to get things done. So examples of questions that you can ask, and within questions you have different types. So this is the type of question which is called open question, and within open question you ask given the choice that give them 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. So in this question, for example, you ask them, please list up to 3 things that you like about doing this particular job that you're doing. So you have list questions also. For example, what is your religion, what is your gender, what is your marital status, married, divorced, not married, married once, separated, things like that. So what is your religion is also whether you are Muslim, whether you are Christian, whether you are Buddhist, whether you are Hindu. So what kind of religion do you have? And you give them list of things from which they can tell you, and you can take, if you are interviewer administered questionnaire. If it is self-administered, they can just give a click or tick to a particular box so that they can understand that this is a list question and which one is their answer to it. Then we have category questions. So we discussed about open-ended questions, we discussed about list questions, and we discussed about category questions. And within category, a researcher or interviewer can ask respondent to questions like how often do you visit the shopping center, and then respondent can reply, let's say, once a week. And the interview, if it is self-administered interview, then respondent can tick any of the appropriate box, or if it is administered by interviewer, then he or she can tick any of the boxes. Then we have ranking questions. So we have to rank them, or we have to rank various things according to our own understanding of that. For example, the question is that please number each of the factors listed below in order of importance to you in choosing a new car. So the question is that you are buying a new car. So what factors do you think are important in your own understanding for you to buy a new car? And how do you enlist them, giving them a ranking? So what in your mind will be the first important factor, second, third, fourth, and this way. So rank your order of importance for choosing a new car, and number the most important one, the next two, and so on. If a factor has no importance at all, please leave blank. And you have given the factors and their importance by giving number to importance level. So what do you ask is carbon dioxide emission, boot size, depreciation, price, and you can also add some other characteristics that are important for you, so that you can also get a ranking for these. But for your understanding, we are just entering these things so that you can understand what kind of questions you can ask under ranking question, and how do you ask their preferences, or how do you ask respondent or subjects preferences for that particular thing. So what you do, you basically ask that you want to choose a car or some other thing. So what is your level of preference, keeping these 4 factors or more than 4 factors in mind. So one is CO2 emissions, the other is boot size, third is depreciation, and fourth is the price of the car. And then according to this ranking, you have also mentioned in your questionnaire that most important is given number 1, the second is given number 2, and it moves on. And if the factor has no importance at all for you, then you have to leave blank. So the factors are CO2 emissions, you have boot size, you have depreciation, and you have price. So for example, the most important thing for the respondent is price. So you give them 1 number. Depreciation might be less important, so you give 3 to it. Boot size might not be important, so you leave it blank. And CO2 is relatively more important, so you give it 2. And this is how you kind of fill the ranking questions if you are administering the interview as a researcher by yourself. And if interviewee or subject is as a respondent fulfilling or administering self in a way the questions, then he or she has to have an understanding of the question in a way that he or she can answer it. So by looking at this question and the previous three questions, you have understand that questions should be clear and precise and understandable. And as a respondent, you have to understand the question so that you can answer it correctly. And as a researcher, for making your questionnaire easily understandable, you have to design each question in a way that as a respondent, one can code or decode the question easily. And you can get the answer that you are looking for. So now we have rating questions. How do you rate them? So we have open questions, list questions, category questions, ranking questions, and then we have rating questions. You rank according to your preferences and then you rate according to whether you agree or disagree. For the following statements, please tick the box that matches your view most closely. I feel employees' views have influenced the decision taken by management, and then you give choices. So the choices are agree, tend to agree, tend to disagree, disagree. So here comes your question, that I feel employees' view have influenced the decision taken by management. So there was some problem or issue in the department or an organization. Employees had voiced that issue, shows their views about it, and management had taken some decision. So now as a researcher, you are going to ask a question whether you agree, tend to disagree or disagree, whether the decision taken by management is influenced by the employee's view or not. So if you are working for that particular organization and you are aware of that, then you will be in a position to take any one of these, saying that you agree, you tend to disagree, or you disagree. So these are the rating questions that you can ask in your questionnaire. Quantity question. So you want to know the quantity of something. For example, you can ask, what is your year of birth? Is it 79? For example, 1998, so you have to write it in that way. So these are the questions that quantifies something. For example, when did you born? What is your height? For example, what is your if you are doing questionnaire for children health, nowadays it is becoming a big problem in Pakistan. So you can also give, let's say, boxes, and one can write. So it's like 6 feet and 11 inches. Oh, I mean 3 feet 11 inches. So this is how you get quantity questions. What is your weight? So again, you can make this box, and in this box you can give it, for example, 78.5, and unit you will give is pounds. So this is how you get quantity question. And quantity questions are also important because you have to understand few basics about your respondent. So one or the other way you will definitely ask quantity questions. Before we end up, we'll try to summarize our today's lecture at what we have learned from this. We are nowadays discussing about primary data collection, with various ways and means, various approaches, and today's lecture we're talking about primary data collection making use of questionnaire. And when to use questionnaire, we have seen that we have to see whether our study is exploratory or descriptive. Linked, we have to develop by research design and multi-method. What kind of methods we are using, what is our research design, and then we will determine that whether we are using questionnaire or not to collect responses from a large sample prior to quantitative analysis. If we want to do quantitative analysis or even qualitative analysis for large sample size, we have to understand that there we definitely need to use questionnaire. Type of questionnaire, we have also seen that we have various types of questionnaire, that is self-administered versus interviewer-administered, and we have structured, telephonic, delivery and collection, postal questionnaire, internet and internet-based questions, and we have seen in few lines definitions of what these questionnaires are meant for and how they are served various purposes. The basic idea behind all this understanding of questionnaire is that questionnaire is one of the most common way of collecting primary data. You prepare a questionnaire, and based on questionnaire you use any of these methods, whether it is self-administered or interviewer administered, and based on any of this method you determine whether it must be internet, postal, delivery and collection, telephone or structured. So after deciding you are using questionnaire, you will decide whether it will be self-administered or you need a research team, and when you decide about one of these two, then you will definitely go about, if it is self-administered, do you use internet, you go for posting or mailing, you go for delivery and collection, or if it is interviewer administered, whether you go for telephone or a structured interview. And we have seen that a structured interview can also be called interview schedule, and that are more structured, logically sequenced relative to unstructured, semi-structured interviews. We have telephonic questionnaire, in which you have to design your questionnaire in a way that you can get whatever you want to get as a researcher. Delivery and mail collection, a delivery and collection questionnaire where you deliver by yourself to your respondents, you go and collect it by yourself from your respondent. Postal or mail questionnaires where you have mailing address or postal address of your respondents, you post them the questionnaire and you get a response back in from your respondents or subjects. You can make use of internet technology or internet mediated questionnaire if you want to conduct a study within organization to understand what are the day-to-day issues that people are facing while working in that particular organization or department of an organization. So this is how we can conduct questionnaire based studies. One of the most important aspect of questionnaire based studies is that you are in a position to gather data that can be used as a ready reference in the future. You can write down the information from your subjects or respondents that are available to you in the future if you have forgotten or missed one or the other most important factor in your research. These are the things that are very important while deciding about research design and what method you will use to collect data or information, and questionnaire is one of them. If you see chapter 11 of Saunders' book, you'll see a very detailed chapter about various ways of preparing questionnaire, various questionnaire designs, what are the needs of questionnaire design, what are the layouts, and all these things that are important for a questionnaire design. And we have also seen that there are important factors that increase the response rate, that increase reliability and validity of your question. And there are key factors that help to design your questionnaire and questions. So these are some of the important aspects while you are deciding about a primary data collection using questionnaire. Keeping in mind you will be in a position to avoid biases, you can be in a position to get valid and reliable data, and you will be in a better position to analyze and interpret your data in a sound and scientific manner. And I stop it here, and we will definitely be continuing other lectures on primary data collection. I thank you very much for your attention, and Allah Hafiz.